Great. Welcome to the latest episode of Authenticated, an active listening space inviting you to a playground of creative conversations. I'm your host, Kate McLeod. I am insatiably curious, and I love optimizing my creativity, especially my creative thinking, because it leads me to creative solutions. It's a method of my creativity I practice and share out loud to inspire more independent thinking in a world pushing conformity. So join me with an arsenal of creative thinkers, from multi-hyphenate artists to entrepreneurs or niche experts willing to think out loud with me as I continue to explore and define the creative conscious. Still sounds hot, right? John-Andrew, welcome to the podcast.
Well, hello, Kate. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. I'm so happy to have you here and to talk things authentic and talk things artistry and talk things about joy. And let's start with what's bringing you so much joy right now, which is you being on Broadway.
Yeah, that's been amazing. And it's been amazing to be back at the Lyceum, where I made my Broadway debut with Strange Loop. And some of the staff is still the same. So the door person is the same, and a couple crew people are the same. A few of the ushers are still the same. So it feels very, very familiar and very much like family. Yeah, it's a joy to be back in that space, and I'm very grateful every day. So before the show, each night I kind of have a ritual where I go and greet the stage and I go, "Hi. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me back."
I remember when I came to see the show and I met you backstage, you said, "I do Broadway, but only at the Lyceum."
For now.
For now. Yeah. What has this brought to you? Like, I think the routine of anything gives you confidence.
Yeah.
And the routine of Broadway has to be such a crazy routine to say something that's routine for you. And then you do 2 shows in the same place.
I think the interesting thing about Broadway is, for me, I've always been talented. I don't think my talent changed because I'm on Broadway, but I think I became a better professional because of Broadway.
Yeah.
There's a kind of rigor. Is that the right word? But there is yeah, I guess rigor is the right word, of showing up to do it 8 times a week. And especially during the holiday season when you have that crazy schedule where you're like doing, I think it's something like 14 shows back to back. It's made me be a different professional actor.
I think that makes sense, especially with the sheer exposure to the amount of energy by the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the reaction that we get from the audience is nuts. And because that show, right out of the gate, we're just like, you're on and you're going bam, 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 bam. There's a focus and I think rigor is probably the right word, that you have to enact to do that show. And so it's just been great to kind of go, oh, I can show up for this pressure. I can show up for this like long stretch of time. I can show up for these things and still do it well. You know, I don't think it's that I am more talented because I'm on Broadway, but I think I am a different professional because I have been able to do these 2 things. And there's something about doing this show. I think Strange Loop, we were all so young and eager and rooting for each other. But this one, it's just felt like, oh, I'm working with people who have many, many Broadway credits and many TV credits. And so how do I show up with them? And what was lovely was like, oh, I know how to show up and I know how to act with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing about this contract for me is I started with Jane and then I switched to Jinx and I had a Hannah show and now I'm doing it with John Cameron. And it's like, oh, I have to show up and do my show no matter who is on stage. And there was times when, you know, Jane had to go film something or Cheyenne had to go film something and like, okay, now there's Hannah, now there's someone else in the part and you have to show up. And and be solid and be secure with what you're doing and still drive the show along. You know, I kind of always say to people, I'll meet you on the ice. So whoever's on the ice with you.
One that is so fantastic to hear, and two, that's also not exactly what I expected you to say, because
What do you mean?
Strange Loop, which
Yeah.
I loved, and Oh Mary, which I love, it's still happening.
Yeah.
Both of those are pieces of theater that really challenged the quote unquote theater norm. And so I thought that change of parts of yourself or parts of your artistry that you would get to practice with on stage on the ice in these big examples, like in Strange Loop, which like, you know, broke tradition, in Oh Mary. And I even said, I was on a shoot earlier this morning and I was on set and I said to someone, I said, oh, my friend Jam's coming on my podcast today. And I said, he's playing Mary's husband in Oh Mary. And he goes, Mary's husband? And I said, sorry, Lincoln. Oh my God, I said Mary's husband and not Lincoln. Like, it challenges the norms of the story. It challenges the norms of the structure of theater and of musical theater. And so it just seems like there's a lot of new here. That is what makes it so rigorous.
Yeah. Well, I think it's new maybe for the audience. I don't think they're like, you know, they're kind of like, wait, what is this? But it comes from a tradition. I mean, it's Charles Ludlam and Charles Bush and, you know, H.M. Katukas. And like, it's work that I love and I find fascinating. It's so weird. You like connect the dots backwards. But June of last year, I did an H.M. Katukas play called Medea of the Laundromat, which was a drag retelling of the Medea myth set in a East Village laundromat. And Medea's like a washed up drag queen. And it was so much fun. And this guy, H.M. Katukas, wrote it in the 50s, right? This kind of like camp, heightened language, really irreverent, very political, very funny, but also very heartfelt work has been there. And Oh Mary really is in that tradition. It is in that line. And so for me, it feels, I'm kind of right at home in it because I've done work like that for years at La Mama and with like the experimental group that I worked with for years and years. And so I think it's new for the audience. And I'll say this, because that was also the same thing with Strange Loop, is as we were making Strange Loop and working on it, we're like, no commercial audience is ever going to see this, right? And so I think what's exciting is that these things have made it to commercial venues because this work is happening below 14th Street all the time, right? Like this kind of like irreverent, tongue firmly in cheek kind of like camp stuff is happening, but I don't think anybody ever thinks this isn't going to make it a Broadway. And certainly we didn't think that was going to happen with Strange Loop. But we loved it anyway. And so that's why we kept working on it and coming back and coming back and coming back, you know?
And thank you for saying that, because I should have clarified new in commercial theater. You
Yes.
know? Yes. The reason it works so well is it's because it's the narrative getting shifted on its head in a totally camp way. But like you said, in a very like authentic, like heartfelt way.
I think that's the heart of it.
Yes.
Right? Because at the center of Oh Mary is a woman who's trapped. And you know, when it works, you know, there's a moment when she has this monologue and you can hear the audience feel for her. And so even though we're doing this wild madcap thing, there is a big, sanguine, beating heart at the center of the show. And it's this woman who just wants to express what she wants to express. And likewise with Strange Loop, you know, Usher's just a big mush of a heart at the center of this wild, outrageous piece. And so I think as long as there is a big beating heart that the audience can like latch on to, you know, you can do all kinds of wild things around it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Where do you think your magnet to joy came from?
Hoy. It's definitely something that I had to work on and that I had to choose. And for me, I talk about it so much. I feel like I have to put a disclaimer that say I'm not an expert in recovery or in AA, and I don't speak on behalf of of it at all. But I have found my joy in the practice of recovery and in that community. And, in the rooms, we kind of say we are not a glum lot. We don't get sober to be nuns or priests. We do it to have a joyous life. And I kind of found my silly and my laugh in sobriety. If you know me and you hang out with me, you know that laughter and all of that is a. But before I got sober, I had lost that very, very much. And I remember the day before I came into the program, that was a very dark, dark day. And I'd reached out to someone for help, and he called me back, and he made me laugh. And I realized that I hadn't laughed in a long, long time. Like I hadn't had a belly laugh in a long, long time. And so joy for me is something that I choose. It's something that I actively look for. I find it in gratitude. I find it in the community of people that I surround myself with. I find it in collaboration. I find it in a good cup of coffee. I enjoy being grateful. And I enjoy all kinds of things. I find silliness and joy in a lot of things. But I choose it. I look for it. It's an active thing. It's not something that I just expect. I search for it. I look for it. I choose it.
Does it ever become less tiring if it's an active choice?
I don't think it's tiring at all. Like choosing it and actively looking for it, it's always a wonderful surprise to go, oh, it's there. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's in this interaction. Or, there's always something to be grateful for or joyful for. And if you're kind of like primed to look for it, it's wonderful for it to like surprise you. I don't know why I'm thinking about the guy at the Just Salad. But I went to a Just Salad the other day, and the guy was just kind of like grumpy. And he just, at one point in time, he just made this big sigh. And I went, long day, huh? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, it'll be done soon, man. It's okay. It's okay. And he smiled. He's like, yeah, thanks for that. But like, I enjoyed that. Like, that was such a human, real thing. There's always like a human connection and a thing that is like, oh, yeah, we're all just trying to do the best that we can. And if you can spread a little joy or kind of like find those moments where it's, acknowledge someone's humanity. The thing that I loved about it was that he was grumpy Gus. And then after he's like, smiling. And he's like, you want a bag? You want this? Come on here. Like, it was just, So, yeah, choosing it is not, for me, depleting. It's not a thing that depletes me. It fills me.
Thank you for sharing all of that, first of all.
Yeah.
I should have said that a little bit earlier. But no, I don't think it's tiring either. I think in observation in others, I feel like I'm a witness to it being tiring to some people, when for me, it just seems like it's how I lead with curiosity.
Yeah.
And so similar is like, for me, is boundaries. Like when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, but if I have to set like a boundary, then like I have to do this and I'll disappoint someone. And now I'm like, actually, I know that if I do this, it's going to be so much easier for me after.
Oh my God. Yes. That's so funny. I just was talking about saying no. I love saying no. I love saying no. No is, it's fine. You don't have to be happy with me.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But I'm going to be happy with me. And what I do know now is, if I leave an icky situation and my shoulders go down and my breath gets a little deeper, that it was absolutely the right thing for me to do. Sometimes like my thinking brain will like, but my body will go, no, that was absolutely the right answer for you.
Like always to carry less.
Yeah. I used to work for a company that taught people how to communicate. And they would always say, there's so much answers from the neck down. Like, we cannot live neck up. If like your gut goes and relaxes, that's great.
That was the best decision.
Yeah, that was the best decision.
I feel like we sometimes discredit the intelligence of the body because we think about the intelligence of the brain so much.
Yeah, and we're always actively thinking, and like kind of trying to figure it out. You know, so much wisdom from the rooms. But there's a woman, she no longer goes to the meetings that I go to. COVID kind of upended everything. But, you know, she would always go, I have to go, where are my feet, Michelle? Where are my feet? And my feet are right here. And so for years, me and like, you know, a cohort of people, we would go, where are your feet, Michelle? Where are your feet? And I use it to this day. I stand on stage before I make that entrance and I go, where are your feet? Where are your feet? Your feet are right here. Because if I'm in my head, I'm kind of like, well, I hope it goes right. But if I go, no, my feet are right here. I know what to do. I know how to do it. And I'm going to do it well. And it's my job to own it and do it. And I love doing it. My feet are right here. Open the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just relived that scene the way I watched it. You opening the door now. Oh, because that is such a practice of grounding to get your presence. Like you command it.
Yeah. I mean, and you have to, he's the president.
Yeah.
Like at the least, you have to own the space. Like this is your house.
Yeah.
You're leading the country. You know what I mean? You're trying to figure out how to end a war. Like the stakes are really, really high. Even though it's a silly, silly show, the stakes are really, really high. You still have to play the relationships. You still have to play the stakes. But the thinking brain can be like, well, what if? I hope. But before I open the door, I go, oh, my feet are right here. I greet the stage before every show, and I stand and I go, hi, I'm glad to be here. I'm grateful to be here. And stage, I'm grateful for you supporting me. And space, I can't wait to co-create something with you today that's going to be unique and one of a kind. And we're going to create something with this audience, and it's going to be fantastic.
Do you think there's a difference between gratitude and joy?
I think they go hand in hand. Joy maybe is the sensation and the feeling of gratitude in action. Gratitude is the focus, right? So how I think about gratitude is this. Gratitude is really the confirmation of things that are actually happening and working in your life, right? Gratitude is that confirmation. Like sometimes when we focus on lack, what we're actually focusing on is the void, is the things that aren't there, that aren't real. But if you can actively go, I'm grateful that I was able to pay for this subway ride. I'm grateful for this cup of coffee. I'm grateful for this oxygen that I get to breathe. Those are active things that are actually happening, that you've been able to experience. These are actual things that are happening and confirming things in your life. Tactile things that are real, right? Rather than, oh, I don't know that I have the money for this, or, oh, what if I don't get that? Then you're kind of like focusing on the void, you know? And so gratitude for me is the focus of things that are actually working and happening in your life.
It's almost like a joy's tangible counterpart.
Yeah, I think so. I think joy is the feeling of like looking at the gratitude list and going, oh, wow.
And that is an infectious practice.
Yeah.
That will really rock you.
Yeah.
Once you get in the habit of that.
Yeah.
There have been multiple studies that have shown that the more we practice seeing something, the more we are attracted to see it.
Yeah.
Like there was this instruction manual in this study where there was like, I think it was like a 50-page instruction manual. People who identified as lucky and people who identified as unlucky. Almost all the people who identified as lucky finished in 11 seconds, this 50-page book. But then the other group who identified as unlucky, they finished in like 15 minutes or something like that. And it's because on the second page, there was a little note in one of the graphics that just said, "You finished the workbook, you can close it now."
Ha-ha!
And so it's like, if you're not trained to see these things, you're going to completely miss it. And I don't want to miss out on an ounce of joy.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, shit's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
That's real. Absolutely.
Like, that's very real. And sadness is going to come. And taxes got to get paid.
Life is life.
Yeah, life is life. But there is still joy and gratitude to be found in all of those things, you know. I mean, my dad died 2 years ago, and it was wild, you know. But there was this moment where we were all home. We were in my childhood bedroom, and it was me and my two sisters on my bed, just and that hadn't happened in decades.
Since you all lived together, presumably, right?
And like, there was just something so like comfortable and familiar and easy and wonderful in the midst of all of this madness that we were able to have this moment of just like, this is what it was. This is what, that is a vivid memory for me in the midst of all of that. I think if gratitude hadn't been a practice, I would have missed it or discounted it rather than going, oh no, this is special. This is great. Mm-hmm. This is delicious.
I'm very big into trusting that the universe gives you what you need. And it's like moments like that that you do need in the midst of turmoil.
Yeah.
And so you need to know how to find the salt and the pepper.
The universe gives you what you need. And it's so interesting, when I found out that he died, I found out at 15 minutes to places doing the tour of A Strange Loop. And I was like half costume on, and I just kind of was like stood there. And this dresser page came in, and they were like, what's up? And I said, oh, my dad died. And they said, put your costume on and do the show. And I did, and it ended up being like the best thing. Like, somehow, like, being able to do this thing that I love, like, kind of kept me sane until I was able to, like, finish the run and get home to Jamaica and, you know, do all of the stuff that needed to happen there, you know. Being able to do Strange Loop oddly at that time, during that time, was the thing that I needed. Like, you know, here I am, like, doing this musical about family trauma. And I'm like,
I was going to say, what a show to do. My God.
But somehow it helped. There was something cathartic and healing about doing it every night. He died, and I had like 2 more weeks left of the tour. And my sisters were like, no, finish it. Finish it. Like, in Jamaica, funerals take a month. They're like, he's fine. He's where he needs to be. Finish the tour, then come home. And it was kind of the best thing to be able to do that and connect. And we were playing at the Amundsen, which is a 2,000-seat theater. And to be able to like do that and then like get the reaction from people after, like, it was really a healing thing to do.
And also so interesting that that's the role you got a Tony nom for. I know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To think that something, back to the universe, it's like, at a time when you need support, at a time when you need healing, at a time when you need comfort and love, there is something already in place there for you to go to practice in.
Yeah.
Especially something that's in your body and your mind. And in joy, now that we've talked about very different types of joy, the spectrum of joy, what comes to your mind when I say that?
Well, it is a spectrum, I guess, but it starts by appreciation, right? There is a brand of instant coffee that I love. And this morning, I made my instant coffee, and it was like perfect. It was like perfect. And I was like, oh, I have a mug, one of these like double insulated, because I'm like, oh, it gets cold really fast. But like, I was able to like sip on my hot coffee for a good 30 minutes this morning. And that was great.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if you can start to even just appreciate those things, that's the beginning spectrum of joy. And then there's like big joy. There are moments in O Mary where like you feel waves of laughter coming from the audience, and it's wild. The audience laughter is so massive, and it's like you feel it come from like the orchestra, and then and then like you hear the balcony come down. That is so wild, and like you kind of go, "Wow, we did that for them." You know, like we were able to cause that in them. That in this time when all manner of things are going wrong, that for this amount of time, we were able to at least give them this catharsis of laughter. And like, big laugh.
Yes.
I remember when we started to do it, they said, oh, you know, we'll get you fitted for microphones. And I was like, microphones for a play? And then speaking with like Tony and Martin and Hannah, these are the people who've been with it, Julian.
The longest. Since the beginning.
Yes, since the beginning. They kind of said, no, we have microphones so we can hear each other. Because sometimes the laughter is so loud that you can't hear the other person on stage. And there are actually monitors on stage for us to hear each other during these moments of huge laughter. And so like on the spectrum of joy, then that's something that is like, wow, we got to experience that. We caused that, but we also got to experience that with this audience and know that we caused that in them. Mm-hmm. And they got to have that moment of release.
Oh, yeah. I love that you say a wave, too, because to me, it's such an active ocean, especially when you're, you know, opposite different Marys, like Hannah, Jane, Jinx. Like, one, you're going to learn so much about that character opposite, just like in a normal traditional setting, because it's different bodies and different artists coming to that role. And then to think of this active wave that literally, technically, you have to change the technicals of the stage in order to support people to be able just to hear each other, because the laughter's so there. And these waves come crashing, like that has to be so intoxicating.
Oh, absolutely, completely. Cole has a note in the front of the script that says, protect the surprise. And I love that note. I love it. That for me is like the active thing that I am doing on stage every night, is like, I'm clipping along and I'm doing the thing because I'm like, oh, audience, I'm about to say something in 3 lines that you're going to lose your mind. Oh, dear audience, there's about to be a surprise that is going to rock your socks. An actively joyous thing to be able to do as an actor, to protect the surprise and to the game of like, we know what's coming. We're going to do what we need to do to bring you there and to protect it and then pounce it on you so that then we get these waves of laughter. Mm-hmm. It's really, that's fun.
Protect the surprise, I feel like, is a note that every artist needs to hear.
Like, yeah.
I wish I went back to 18-year-old myself and tattooed that on her.
Yeah.
It was just like,
yeah,
don't give it away.
Don't give it away.
Because that's in where joy lies. It's protecting the surprise. It's the payoff.
Yeah. I got to work with Leslie Kritzer a few years ago, and we were workshopping a big show. And I was given it. It was like my first big Broadway 3-week workshop. And we were sitting behind the set getting ready to come on. And she went, don't give them all your funny, honey. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, they'll get bored of your funny and then think they need to change it. But you know that it works. So sometimes save it. Protect the surprise even from them. You know it's funny. Your instincts are like, yeah, I can kill this moment. give them a little taste. I always remember Leslie going, don't give them all your funny, honey.
Don't give them all your funny, honey.
Yeah.
There's something in that exists in presence, because I remember when I met you, when you and I were working together at the Atlantic.
Yeah.
You had that one monologue where you kept, I think your character had named himself Malibu Bitch Barbie.
Yes.
And I remember hearing you say that in one of the first rehearsals, and I was like, the way you said it in your mouth, I was like, there is joy in the vowels.
As an actor, I love language. I love to play with language. Like, it's the thing that brings me the most joy. Because I have a Jamaican accent, but I've been working in America for so long. So I have this like weird, and so almost anything that I'm doing is dialect, right? Like almost anything is going to be a vocal performance in a way. And I really do look at the script and I'm like, there is joy in a vowel. There is like surprise in a bit of dialect work, in a bit of how you deliver a line in terms of pace. But language, I love it. I'm always kind of playing with sounds in my mouth and in my head. So there's an inflection that I do in the show, and I taught a workshop. This woman in the workshop was playing a queen, and she went, and you all will come and live with me. And I literally stole it. Like, I heard it and I was like, clink, I'm putting that in the bank. I'm putting it in the bank.
May! Yes!
I'm putting it in the bank. There's a moment in the show where I literally go, with me. Like, I hear like things and I like stealing it.
Mine.
And I'll use it. There's so much like fun vocal stuff that I'm doing. And like, they're personal references almost for me, but
that's fun.
They make me happy.
And I think that's the lead by example, and not just so much in artistry of particularly speaking to acting, the leading by example of like, I'm having fun, therefore you're going to have fun, because you don't know entirely why I'm having fun.
Yes.
But you really want to figure out how to get there, and that's why you keep following.
Yeah. And you have to embody the thing that you want the audience to experience. Mm-hmm. It's that weird little thing of like, if you take a breath on stage, you feel the audience take a breath. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you decide that I'm going to delay this breath and I'm going to like make this breath really tense, you feel the audience like do that, right? And so you have to embody what you want them to experience, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about technique in acting, right? Like, it's not that I have to feel fully the emotion, but I have to embody the energy of what I want them to feel.
It almost feels like your relationship to words and to language is like tactile.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Like, it feels like, this feels like silky pudding.
Yes.
This feels like hard corn. It is very tactile in my mouth.
This impulse that you follow to lean into things, to explore, do you know where that comes from for you?
It comes from my, I think, training, but that one I have to give. I had a mentor named George Ferrance at La Mama. He would always say, remember everything. And like, you know, if you were going through something that was hard and you were speaking to him about it, he would just go, oh, so great. Remember every moment. Remember what it felt like in your chest. Remember what it smelled like. Remember it all. And weird thing as an artist, as an actor, where they're like random little like things where I'll see a look that someone does and I'm like, Or there's a weird inflection on something and I go, huh.
Yeah.
I store them I store them.
Because earlier when you said, stealing that, I was like, that word's bumping me. And it's because it's this, remember, it's this to take it, because it comes from your perception. It becomes your own once you remember it.
Yes.
And you're perpetuating it.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you get to do with it as you want. But yeah, I mean, as artists, we do steal.
We try things on all the time because it goes, oh, that hit me. Oh, I want to try. It's like that exercise that you do in training where it's like, you a sound and you push it to the other person and they go, whoop, they give it back to you. It's Meisner at its best.
Yeah, of course.
I love that. I really want to know, with everything that's happened, is happening, what do you want next? What does Jam want next to see happen?
I want to be pleasantly surprised. That much I know. There's so much that is out of my control, but I do want to be pleasantly surprised by whatever the next thing will be. I'm kind of in that moment of, it's time to sit down for a little bit. You know what I mean? And let that be okay. Or it's time to collaborate with some other friends and plant some seeds there. Or it's time to go visit my mom. You know what I mean? TV will come. Or maybe a film will come. Or, I don't know. I have no idea. What I do want to actively practice is faith that it will show up. There's never nothing there. But when there isn't, say, the job there, that there is still faith that wonderful is going to happen. I expect the miraculous. You know what I mean? And even Oh Mary was miraculous for me, right? Because I was unemployed and it came out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere. And it was one of the easiest processes I've ever been involved with. You have these processes sometimes where you're like, call back 6-7 times and then you don't book the thing. I literally got a call from my agent on a Wednesday saying, can you do a Zoom audition Thursday at 5:30? I did a Zoom audition. It lasted 15 minutes. The next day I booked the job. It was that quick. Right? And so sometimes the miraculous can just, like, I gave them an option. I gave them an offering and they're like, yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know what this period is. So rest. Now is the time to go to the beach. Work on something with my friend Drew. Work on something with some of my other collaborators.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm wildly open to the miraculous. And I kind of know that usually the greatest and the best things that have ever shown up for me kind of made a decision, okay, we're going to be a show now. Yeah. And I was already along for the ride. I did a musical called 3 Summers of Lincoln last year. And again, I went in and the next day they're like, okay, come. I feel like that's always the thing, that the work either organically happens because you've been in a process or it just kind of goes, yeah.
Yeah.
The universe kind of goes, all right.
Is the practice of faith, you think, where authenticity lies for you when these things find you?
Faith is hard for me, right?
Okay.
That one can be hard because I want what I want when I want it. And this idea of things are happening in God's time and I have to release, that can be hard. That part is the part that I have to talk myself down or talk myself up, right? And go, no, you're not working right now doesn't mean you're a loser or a da-da-da-da. It just means you need to let that be for a while and it will show up. If I'm looking at evidence, what I always know is that I've never been put in a terrible, terrible situation, right? Somehow it always shows up when I need it to show up, right? But the not having the kind of schedule thing to show up for is hard for me. And so sometimes the faith part is hard. I have to actively go, okay, I'm going to pray now and go, all right, I'm turning it over. I'm going to release control. It will be fine. It will be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Like that part. The thing about gratitude is that helps with the faith, right? Because then I can go, no, well, this is working and this is working.
Look at this evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the faith part, that I do struggle with. Yeah. Yeah.
But you are perfectly capable of helping yourself navigate the struggle that might come with it.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
That's fair.
Oh my God, years ago I worked with a trainer and he said, I'm going to push you. I'm like, that's fine. I reserve the right to complain. I will do every single thing that you ask me to do, but I reserve the right to not like it and complain about it. I will actively do the thing. I will do the work that faith requires, but I don't always like it.
Yeah.
I don't always like it.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah. In the rooms, and this might be a bit sacrilegious, but, they go, fuck you, is also a prayer, right? And like the universe and God is big enough to take your fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like you said earlier, when you shared about how in recovery, no one gets sober to be a nun or to be this. They do it to be human.
Yeah, they do it to be human and to have this human experience as spiritual beings. Sometimes the only prayer, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. It's like, okay, all right, fine.
Because then it becomes thank you.
Yeah, because then it becomes thank you. Absolutely, then it becomes thank you.
Yeah.
The work of faith is not my favorite.
But I really think that, like, people listening to you sharing, like, your feelings in that space will make room for them, too.
I hope so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all trying to figure it out. That part, I figured out some things, but the faith one, or getting comfortable with the unknown, I still don't love. I know that there are moments where you're in the hallway, right? But I know that a door will open. But it's the waiting for the door or the window to open that just, I'm like, really? Really? But the great thing is seeing it open for people I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that also, like, gives me, like, oh, okay. All right. It can happen. It will happen.
Well, I think that's the difference between, waiting for a door to open, period, and waiting for a door to open for you, period.
Yeah.
And just knowing that it's a space of opening that we want.
Yes. Yes. And that, I can borrow someone else's evidence, right?
1,000%.
I can borrow someone else's evidence. Like the thing that just makes me so joyous right now, and it's like my show now, is Best Medicine. I see Jason on it and I'm like, oh my God.
I get emotional. See? I love seeing my friends succeed.
Yeah.
I love seeing good people, talented people who I know. And not that I'm like, the God of worthiness, but it's like people who I know are so worthy and so.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, like this is our win.
Yeah.
Go.
I know he's been doing the thing, putting in the work. And like to have this thing now show up for him in this way is like, yes. And then it also reminds me like, look at the company I walk with.
Exactly. Well, that's the same thing as like with the meh. It's like you see him and you're like, yes, it worked. It's that like community of evidence, that sharing of evidence. And isn't that just like what artistry is?
Yeah.
But
I think that's something that like we have to actively do is celebrate other people. I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial, but not controversial. There are people that I don't like.
Fair.
But I still celebrate them. And when I see them, I'm like, good for you. Good for you. I don't like you.
But good for you.
But that's great. And I'm happy that you're experiencing that.
Because look, that happened.
Yeah, because look, that happened, and it can happen for any and all of us. And like, I celebrate my wins too. Like, I'm on Broadway again. Fuck yeah. In a big hit fucking show. Come on now.
You've got to share the stage with so many people, and also the sheer amount of evidence that has waited for you behind the door, on this stage, behind the stage, on the stage.
Yeah.
that is incredible. You can't not celebrate that.
Oh, yeah. I know April 27th, I will probably be in my bed. Like, I know that I'm going to have like a couple days where I'm just going to like have to lie down.
Yeah.
And that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll get up and figure it out.
I plan for those days when I know I'm going to come down off something big, and I call them my worm days.
Yes.
And they're planned because I've already practiced the permission for myself of like, no. I've literally put it in my calendar. It's Kate Worm Day.
That's good.
Because then you don't beat yourself up.
You don't beat yourself up. And like, that's good. I'm going to have to do that.
Please.
Because like, I know me, I will be like, oh, I'm going to schedule something for the 27th and 20th. And then I'm like, spiritually, I can't. Like, I need to just like shed it.
Yeah.
You know. But I know that day I will come home I will take a shower, I'll go in my bed, and I probably will just be there.
The next day.
Yeah. But filled with gratitude.
Correct.
And filled with joy for that experience. You know what I mean? But also letting it leave my body a little. You know? Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah!
Thank you for joining me on here.
Yeah. I hope there was something that, people will,
I know there
latch
is.
onto.
Oh, I know there is. There's so much. There's so much. And I hope we can do this again. And I can't wait to keep celebrating you and learning from you and just seeing everything that is on its way for you.
And I'm glad it finally happened. Like, oh my God. Like, sorry that I had to reschedule.
No, I really believe in the timing of things. I really do. And when it happens, I go, okay, great. And like, then today's amazing.
Perfect.
Yes.
And now I'm going to go to Peter Pan Donut and get a donut. Because I'm in the neighborhood.
You can't not win your hair. And then to Broadway.
And then to Broadway. And then to Broadway.
And then to Broadway. Thank you, Jam. Thank you. And those are the latest thoughts. Thank you for sharing your thinking space with me today. I hope you're continuing on with new questions, answers for now, thoughts and curiosities of your own. Please like, subscribe to, and share anything and everything that resonated. Send me questions and intrigues that my creative work or this episode brought up for you. For all things that I'm working on, creating, and exploring, head to the show notes. Until next time, Ben.